It started with a challenge that Michael Thompson, a 28-year-old software engineer from Denver, could never have imagined. Accepting, Michael had always been cautious, living a predictable life, coding software by day and binge-watching shows by night. But deep down, there was a part of him that longed for adventure, for a story worth telling. The opportunity came unexpectedly one summer when his best friend, Daniel, invited him on a hiking trip to the Rocky Mountains. Not just any hike. Daniel had signed them up for a week-long climb up Long's Peak, one of Colorado's most challenging summits. Michael laughed it off at first. "I'm not a mountain person," he said, avoiding the thought of heights. But something about Daniel's excitement planted a seed in him. A week later, standing at the base of the mountain, Michael's heart raced. The trail stretched far above, jagged rocks and steep cliffs looming. Panic set in. Memories of failing at small risks in life, public speaking, dating, even asking for a promotion flashed before him. Yet, a voice inside whispered, "What if this is the moment you finally prove to yourself what you're capable of?" The first days were grueling. Michael struggled to keep up with Daniel, often stopping to catch his breath, feeling his legs burn, his mind filled with doubt. Nights in the tents were cold and restless, with howling wind rattling the stakes. Many times, he wanted to turn back, but Daniel encouraged him. "You can do this. Just take it step by step, one move at a time." Midway through the climb, disaster struck. A sudden rainstorm made the rocks slippery, forcing the team to take a dangerous detour along a narrow ledge. Michael froze. Fear gripped him like never before, his hands trembling, his vision narrowing. Daniel held his arm, steadying him, and said, "You've got this. Trust yourself." With slow, deliberate movements, Michael took one step, then another, and eventually reached solid ground. It was in that moment, high above the valleys, that Michael realized fear was a choice, not the feeling itself, but whether he let it control him. He had always avoided challenges to feel safe, but safety had left him unfulfilled. Facing the mountain and himself was teaching him the value of courage. By the fourth day, Michael began to change. His confidence grew with each obstacle he overcame. Crossing a fast-flowing stream, navigating a treacherous ridge, even leading a small group of fellow hikers safely through a foggy pass. With each step, he discovered that perseverance, patience, and trust in himself could move mountains literally and figuratively. On the final day, as the sun rose behind the peaks, Michael reached the summit. The view was breathtaking. Endless ridges, sparkling rivers, and clouds that looked close enough to touch. Tears streamed down his face, not from exhaustion, but from the overwhelming sense of accomplishment. He had faced his deepest fear, survived, and emerged transformed. Standing at the peak, Michael reflected on his life below. Challenges weren't obstacles, they were opportunities to discover who he truly was. He promised himself that he would take more risks, pursue dreams, and embrace discomfort when it led to growth. That climb was more than a physical journey. It was a lesson he would carry forever. Life's greatest rewards often lie beyond fear. Returning home to Denver, Michael didn't just bring souvenirs or photos. He brought a new mindset. He enrolled in a local mountaineering club, started mentoring others, and even took up public speaking to share his story. Friends and coworkers noticed the change. A newfound confidence, a spark in his eyes, and a willingness to try things that once terrified him. In the end, Michael learned that fear isn't the enemy, it's a compass, pointing toward what truly matters. Facing it is never easy, but the view from the other side is priceless. And sometimes, the climb you never thought you could make becomes the defining moment of your life.